Uncle. I'm so glad you're home again. You've been traveling a lot recently.
That's true, Chipper.
Why have you been gone so much, Uncle? Is it to teach others about preparedness for emergencies?
Well, yes, but I've also been lending a helping paw where needed. You know, whenever there is a disaster in one part of the country, those of us in other unaffected places may be asked to help. But to do that, we have to learn and share our knowledge. So I've been learning lots more myself from other professionals. And if I do say so myself, there was this.
What's that?
Just an award we got from the International Association of Emergency Managers for those videos we've been doing. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And such an honor. Hey, I'll bet you'd love to see all my pictures from that trip.
Sure.
Okay, I'll set up the old projector. I just love vacation slideshows. Here I am packing for the trip to Orlando for the International Association of Emergency Managers meeting. Those of us in the biz call it IAEM. Here I am preparing to represent for all my Minnesota peeps. Oops, focus. There we go. Here's the plane. It was such a big plane. Here I am trying to find my seat. It's always such a struggle with the overhead bins. Well, the bag was finally stowed, and here I am in my seat. I don't know why humans complain about the middle seat. I have always found them to have more than enough leg room, though the guy in the next seat kept trying to use me as a pillow. We arrived at the Orlando airport safe and sound. Here I am waiting for the tram. Woohoo! I call front! Right away, I noticed an opportunity to help out. The transportation security agent recognized me and asked me to help at one of the posts. They were really busy and appreciated my help, I can tell you. I had to ask for directions to baggage claim. The airport folks were really helpful, but I wish the airports accommodated Gopher-sized travelers more. Look, clearly our see something, say something message is catching on, Chipper. They did a great job of reminding folks to report suspicious activity. Sometimes it feels like it takes forever for your bags to arrive, but they arrived safely at last, and we are off to the hotel to get ready for the next day's work at the conference. After a long day of work travel, we were happy to get some sleep. Being wise stewards of the taxpayers' money, Director Freed and I shared a room to save money. He was an okay roommate, but he sure snores. Luckily, gophers never snore. Well, anyway, next morning we checked into the conference and got our credentials. I was so excited for all the preparedness stuff I would learn. Here we are grabbing a quick bite before the conference opened. You know how hard it is to maintain our bright eyes and bushy tails without a balanced breakfast. Let me just fix that. Here I am on the way up to the big conference hall. And here we are arriving at the general session for the awards ceremony. More than 1,500 professionals were there from all over the U.S. and the world. There would have been almost 3,000, but many had to cancel their plans at the last moment because of Superstorm Sandy. They put the citation for the award on the big screen. Here are Director Freed and I accepting the award from IAEM President Jeff Walker. And wouldn't you know it, I left my thank you speech I'd worked on all night in my other t-shirt, so I had to ad-lib. And here's a picture of the certificate. Here we are addressing the conference and sharing rodent wisdom with my peers.
Hey, that's you! Your own poster! Wow!
Yes, Chipper, they did. Here's a picture of Ramsey County Emergency Management Coordinator Denzel Mellors and me posing by the poster with pictures of me. Pretty neat. I also got the chance to visit with many other emergency management professionals. Sharing knowledge through networking can be as important as the formal classes. See, here is our friend Director Lisa Dressler from University of Minnesota Emergency Preparedness. But of course, we all go to the conferences for the classes. Here I am at one of the sessions. Really informative. Here I am sharing a laugh with Gary Peterson and Kathy Clark from Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management Department. They are so smart, but what cut-ups. I was also asked to teach a class on best practices for community outreach because of our award. Here's a picture of Director Freed introducing me to the class. To be fair, I asked Director Freed to stay and team teach with me. He graciously accepted. I think we did great, though he can run on a bit sometimes. But it all comes down to the message, and our message of reaching people with preparedness and response messages is really important. Here I am rubbing noses.
I think the term is rubbing elbows. Humans don't rub noses.
Oh, of course, you're right. So, rubbing elbows with Supervisor Linda Langston from Iowa. She's the president of the National Association of Counties, and I am Executive Director Beth Armstrong.
I didn't know you were so important, Uncle.
I don't know that I am all that important, but our message is, and sharing the message and learning how to improve the ways we do things is very important. I was just glad to meet two of the leaders in our nation and that they are so willing to listen and give great advice. I also made some other new friends. This is Director Tammy Van Overbeek from Lyon County, Minnesota. Uh-oh. And this is Robbie Robinson from Texas. The rest of the conference went great. On the last day, they had the annual members meeting and elections for IAEM leadership. At last, a chance to rest after several really busy days. I thought the excitement was over, but little did I expect the flight home to be so interesting too. There was some delay in our departure, so we all settled in to wait. Suddenly, I heard my name over the plane's loudspeaker. The pilot had dropped a paperclip from his clipboard. It had gotten stuck way down in a tiny crack, and the pilots asked for a passenger with little hands, or paws, to help. The flight attendants all knew I was on board, so... Getting to the bottom of something that big was tough, but eventually I prevailed, and saved the day. Bless you, tiny gopher paws. Finally, we were ready for takeoff. Just in case there were any other paperclip-related emergencies, the flight crew asked me to stay up front as pilot in command of small office supplies. The rest of the flight was routine. As much fun as it was, I have to say that I was ready to get home after we landed. But right after we returned, Superstorm Sandy hit the East Coast. There's no rest for weary rodents, and I was called to duty right away. But that's a story for another time.
Wow, Uncle, that looked like a great opportunity to learn and to share a lot of knowledge.
It was, Chipper. As emergency managers, we should never stop learning from our peers. We can never assume we know it all, or even that we know enough. There are always other ways to improve, and new methods to protect the public even better. The award was a really nice thing to get, but the chance to share what we are doing with our colleagues and learn what they are doing in turn was the best thing of all.